This is the iCoco live streaming camera. It is a 4K 30 FPS camera meant for live streaming. It comes, you can buy the creator kit, which sells for like $309. Comes with a hot swappable battery, memory card, a card reader, and some cool things like you could twist it and you could capture a different video, which is cool. But this camera, there's something in the room that we have to address. First things first. Just because a camera says it could do 4K 30 doesn't mean it's a good camera. And to be quite honest, it's disappointing. In this video, I'm going to talk about why it's disappointing. When iCoco reached out to me, they said they're a new startup company and they have this camera that they've seen my content and I work on live streaming stuff before, that they think I would really like this camera. So here's a little disclaimer. They sent it out to me for free. They actually did not expect a video in return or anything like that. I actually told them, hey, I can't promise a video, but if you want to send it, I'll give it a shot. So yeah, like I said in the beginning of this video, just because a camera says it could do 4K 30 doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good camera. An iPhone like this, iPhone 12, can shoot 4K 60. Doesn't mean it's a good phone, especially in low light conditions. This GoPro, Hero 11 GoPro, could do 5K 30. Doesn't mean it's going to be a good picture, but there are differences between cameras like these, devices like these, and what this is meant to be. And to be quite honest, I was left very disappointed in this camera. It's touted to be a 4K. Well, actually, let me take it back. Let's talk about positives about this camera. This camera is cool in a couple aspects. You have a screen here, right? And you can record either in portrait or landscape mode via, settings and stuff like that. But let's say you're doing like IRL or vlogging or just want to record what's going on. You're able to hold the camera like this. And if you want to get the other perspective but still see through the viewfinder, or not the viewfinder, but through the screen, rather than having to turn the device completely around to record what's happening, you could just twist the top like this. Like, it's very Insta360 X4, X3-esque without the second camera. But like body shape and size wise, honestly, it's almost like a replica of it. But I gotta say, like, features wise, like, it's cool to be able to say, hey, I don't have a 360 camera, but let me turn this around. You can't go fully 360. It's only one way or another. So there is that. It does have internal built cooling, and so it's able to withstand a lot of heat, especially as you're recording or live streaming. So that's definitely a good feature, and it's not loud at all compared to something like my Nikon Z30 or even like a GoPro. Like, those things overheat. Like, I've had to buy different cooling devices to, resolve that. And spoiler alert real quick, I have another device that's coming out. Well, not me, but I'm reviewing another device. That's going to be for another video. You're going to stay and subscribe to this channel if you want that video. Trust me, it's going to come out in like a week. So, a rotatable camera, pretty, ergonomically able to hold, internal cooling, and one of my favorite features of all, hot swappable battery. I could turn this bad boy on, right? Like this, and let's say I'm live streaming or I'm recording something, and all of a sudden my battery is like about to die. I could sit here like this and full on take the battery out, and it's still rolling. Like, there's no battery in this, and it's still going. I can pop a new one back in, and it's still going. That's by far one of the sickest features, and probably my favorite feature of all in a camera like this, because I have not come across any video device that has had a hot swappable battery like that. So hands down, if you're a person that's like, I'm constantly having to recharge batteries and stuff like that, a device like this is going to be really good. That's about where the praises stop, because the camera itself can be very, very frustrating at times. You know, this is meant to be a live camera. And what platform does everybody go live the most? I'm talking about Twitch. I have had constant issues trying to go live with this on Twitch from my phone. Like, the idea is meant, you download the app and you're able to use a phone and this camera, and this is all you need for your live studio, right? When I first got this, I went to an anime convention in Ontario, California. I couldn't connect it for the life of me. In this testing, I actually took it out for a bike ride and I tried to connect to Twitch, and I could not get the phone to connect to the hotspot. Its core functionality is live streaming. Like, I could not connect to my hotspot whatsoever. I had to restart the device over and over again, right? Like, this constant having to try to connect to a wireless network and try to connect to my hotspot, it was just constant struggles. And when I finally got it to live stream to Twitch, now Twitch can handle 1080p 60 frames per second as an ingest. I've done it many times through a computer, but like through this device, nothing at all. No way I can connect. Look, even right now, I can't even get a Wi-Fi signal. Like, there's major issues with this, and that's why, like, this, I struggle with it. It's buggy. Like, let's go back. So it's a live streaming camera. When I finally was able to get the live stream, it was at 720 30 FPS, and it looks, I mean, here, take an example of how it looks. It has bugs, it has quirks. They're a startup company, I get that, but at the same time, it's like, if I want to spend $350 for something like this, I expect it to work. Mind you, I talked about the connectivity of it. That's a huge issue, especially as a live stream camera. You can use this as a regular, like, action camera or live camera or recording, stuff like that for like YouTube videos. But one of my biggest gripes with it is the video quality. Back to what I said in the beginning of this video, 4K 30, just because it says it could do 4K 30 doesn't mean it could do 4K 30. And it's very clear in a device like this. Going head to head, recording 4K 30 high bit rate in this versus a 4-year-old phone versus my GoPro. None of these devices, like, were beat by this. The color, like, it's supposed to have a bigger sensor than the front camera than the GoPro. It's oversaturated, it's over contrasty, and I have it on all auto settings. All these devices are on auto settings. I'm not like doing like this, right? N-Log. I'm not using a high-end camera setup like this rig, right? Like, where I can customize the S out of it. This, it just looks bad. And to be quite honest, it's very reminiscent of like a old like digital video camcorder or something like that. Which I guess, if that's what you're looking for, and that's your style, your vintage stuff like that, I could see where this would come in handy. Throw a couple of different LEDs and stuff like that, and you got, you know, a usable image to replicate like circa 1990 or 2000. But other than that, again, it's where it kind of fails for me. I really don't like to be harsh with companies, right? Like, the last thing I want to do is leave a bad review, because again, these are all my opinions, but I'm not alone. If you go through YouTube, right? Like, here's the world of, I'm going to open up the world of creator economy for you for 1 minute. The idea is, supposedly, if a company sends you a device for free, you're supposed to give it a good review. That's kind of like the unspoken thing. And the one thing that I've always strive on is like, no, I'm going to tell you like it is. Look at the reviews for this before you purchase this. Like, hopefully this is like, if this is the first video, I need you to go look at more videos. But if I'm the last video, and I'm the reason of truth for you, then please, I hope. Again, this is for some people. And maybe I'm being like very particular in quality, but like I try to be ghetto fabulous and make stuff up. Like I've worked hard enough to the point where I can afford high-end gear like this, but something like this, I don't believe it cuts past that red tape. Another feature of this, right, is to be able to connect it to a webcam or computer and it acts like a webcam. Don't. just don't. Trust me, it is not good. It's not. I hate to bash on it, but like maybe I'm expecting a lot for a camera like this. But I really don't feel like I'm expecting a lot because it has the looks of an action camera. It has the feel of a live streaming camera, and it just doesn't hit. I say you take my opinion. This is my opinion, my review, with a grain of salt. But there are areas where it's just groundbreaking, and then there's areas where it's just bad. To be blunt, I want better from it, and I don't think firmware updates are going to solve this. One of the biggest things that I notice is lens flare. And that's part of the coating of the lens itself. Any glass, like even a cheap lens, right? If the sun hits you, you're gonna just get a certain like discoloration of lighting. And even third-party lenses, like the lens I'm recording now is like a Viltrox third-party lens out of China. And normally that lens is supposed to be really shitty. But this is chef's kiss, right? This, like, it just, there's a lot of discoloration. There's a lot of artifacting, and to be quite honest, like I'm just disappointed in it, to be quite honest, because when I first opened this package, I was like, wow, like this is cool to get a bunch of, like if you're a new creator and you're looking for something, like that'd be cool to get. But then like the more I used it, and I've had this for like 3 months, and I try to keep going back to, because it fits in your pocket. It's perfect in that sense. Like, I don't know what else to say. It misses in the core functionality of a live streaming camera and video, 4K quality video, 1080, nothing works. It leaves me very disappointed. And so if you are on the fence about this camera, I mean, you've seen the sample footage that I placed in this video. Like, I'm recording this raw, no script, because honestly, this is my opinion of how I've been dealing with this. So final thoughts. Do I need to say final thoughts? To be quite honest with you, like, I feel like I've said a lot in this video. Why does someone buy a live streaming camera like this? And I'm thinking outside of Twitch streamers. I'm talking about sporting events, weddings, corporate events where you're trying to live stream and do stuff like that. Like, I've reviewed other gear on this channel. You might remember I talked about the Nearstream camera, and it had some flaws like this as far as image sensors, but there was one thing that it had, and that was good glass, that you had optical zoom, and that's something I would recommend over for sporting events than something like this. Now, I get in other videos I've talked about like the desktop streamer, but even thinking about all those other events, this is not the camera. The zoom, nothing like that tells me, let's go record little Timmy's sporting baseball game. Like, you will be disappointed. If I pull this out for a client for a wedding event, I would laugh myself out. I would rip up my contract and apologize and give them a refund, because I would not record video for a wedding with this. Those are my final thoughts. And Coco, I appreciate you sending this for me. I really do. And I really wanted to like it. But like I said, for some of the features that you hit, there are others you swung and you missed hard. And I can't avoid how bad you missed, and for the good. I'm Joe. This is Matsuxo. As always, keep creating and subscribe to the channel if you like content like this. Otherwise, I gotta go eat dinner. Maybe I'm hangry. I'm not hangry. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I'm out. Peace.